So you want to know how to make your own laundry detergent at home, and it only takes 6 simple ingredients. So let me share with you why I switched to making my own laundry detergent rather than buying from the store, how to make this laundry detergent, and then how to use it. So I used to use store-bought laundry detergent, and it comes in a powder or it comes in a liquid. Been very cheap and cheerful because I used to buy the supermarket brand one, so it's even cheaper. But the problem with it is that it had so much fragrance in it, and I'm not talking about just general essential oil kind of fragrance. I'm talking about really, really strong fragrance, up to the point where it started to make me sneeze really badly. And then when I read more about fragrances, you kind of deep dive into a rabbit hole where you get fragrances that contain phthalates, and phthalates are known irritants, and then it's not very good for your health. So currently I'm at a stage where I want to minimize the number of synthetic fragrances in my daily routine rather than completely eliminate it, because it is quite difficult. And where I've started on my journey is laundry detergent and homemade cleaning sprays. And the good thing about the ingredients in this laundry detergent is that these ingredients can be used in many different purposes around the household. The ingredients that you'll need is baking soda. And I like to use this to clean my vegetables, unclog drains. It's also really good for cutting grease and grime in the household as well on surfaces. You'll also need some washing soda, otherwise it's known as sodium carbonate, and it's really good for brightening the laundry. You'll need citric acid, a mild acid that you can use for cleaning the house. You can make it into a homemade cleaning spray. Remove lime scale from the shower, and also remove lime scale from the kettle. You'll also need some regular table salt, some castile soap, which I like to use in a milder form of cleaning spray, and some lavender essential oil. So this jar was originally a coffee jar where I bought it from Costco, which is why it's so big, but it is able to hold over 1 kilo worth of powder in here, which is really good. It's not the biggest jar that you would ever see in a laundry detergent that you buy from the supermarket, and I have a good reason why, because it's best to keep the ingredients separate, but then it's quite a hassle to keep mixing them all the time. So in here, the first ingredient I put in is 600 grams of baking soda, otherwise it's known as sodium bicarbonate. And what that does is it neutralizes the odors, and also it's just a gentle cleanser. Then I put in 600 grams of washing soda. Now this is the powerhouse where it comes to washing and degreasing everything, and it's more powerful cleansing agent, so I put both equal amounts. Some recommend that you add double the amount of washing soda to your baking soda, but I found 50-50 was enough. Then, because I have quite a lot of lime scale in our water is hard water in around London area, so I put about 100 grams of citric acid, and that just de-lime scales everything, but also it works as a nice fabric softener. And then I add 20 grams of salt, just a little amount, and that also helps to soften your clothes. That is all of the powder that I put in here. Now, one thing I would have to say is that the citric acid, it can react with the washing soda and the baking soda because they are alkaline, but only if you're in a very humid environment. So if you're not in a humid environment, it's not so bad. I usually keep those packets where it absorbs a lot of water in this formula so that it just soaks up as much moisture out of the air. But if you're in a humid environment, I would actually strongly recommend you to keep the citric acid separate from the washing and baking soda. So how much I would load in here? I would load about ½ a cup per load, but that's a large load. If you have a smaller load, I'd only put in about 1/4 cup. Now there is another ingredient that you need to add in, which is castile soap. And castile soap is usually coming in the form of a bar, and they tell you to grate it and then put it in, but I found that too much of a hassle, and I can just imagine all of those little fragments of castile soap just building up in your washing machines. I actually prefer the castile soap liquid version because it's just much more easier to dissolve. If you want to, you can make a smaller bottle and mix your castile soap with your favorite essential oil, and the essential oil I use is lavender oil. And this is a bigger bottle because I love the scent of lavender. In each load, I add about a teaspoon of the castile soap, and then I'd add 5 to, depending on how lavender I feel. If I want a stronger lavender scent, I put 10 drops of lavender essential oil, but that's quite a lot. For a normal starting off load, I would probably add just about 5 drops, and that's plenty. In terms of the steps in adding your powder and your liquid into the washing machine, it's kind of similar to just adding your washing up powder and then your fabric softener as a liquid. So in terms of effort wise, it's not too much to ask for. I would set the washing machine to the mix load that you would normally set to, 30 degrees, because we don't need high heat in just washing some sheets. And I've had some stains on my sheets because I accidentally spilled coffee on there, and it's managed to wash them out very effectively. If you do have some really strong stains on your clothing, then I would recommend adding some sodium bicarbonate. That just bleaches everything out of the clothing. So it's another, I think they call it a optic brightening ingredient. So that will just lift out all of the stains. But other than that, this is how I've been doing my laundry, and my clothes seem to be smelling fresh and good when I dry them out. So if you enjoyed today's video, then check out my Clean With Me series over here, and I will see you there. Bye!